convincing 6-1 win over the Wild here tonight to make it back-to-back wins. And for the first time this season, the Minnesota Wild have lost back-to-back in regulation as the Panthers beat them by 5 here tonight at XL Energy Center.
Joe O'Donnell with the final call from the Al Shaver press box as the Wild are dumped by the defending Stanley Cup champions. Wild felt so good about themselves in that trip to South Florida earlier in this season, back in October. This time the defending champs flexed their muscle. Welcome to the postgame show. Kevin Falness downstairs in the Bob Kurtz Radio Center, upstairs in the Al Shaver press box. Tom Reid saw this thing go down, and Tom, I'm seeing a bad trend start to develop here for this Minnesota Wild team, and I don't like it very much.
No, you're right, Kevin. Neither do I, and I'm sure the players and the fans and the staff and everybody else doesn't like it. But, and we go back because of the injuries, and that's part of it. There's no question. But we just didn't have a lot of jump with the team here in this game tonight. And I know it's a different time, but it's the same for both clubs. But I think with Minnesota, a little more pressure on them. But my biggest concern now is Brock Faber and what's going to go on with him. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Yeah, hopefully we get an update from John Hines, can tell us what they know. Like Joe said, didn't see any blood. Looked like it hit him somewhere in that throat area, and hopefully it's nothing serious, because that would be another giant blow to this team, who's already without Trenyan, without Lauko, without Middleton, Gustafsson, and Jules Eriksson, one of your best defensemen. You can't lose them, Tom.
No, you're right, but Minnesota's been stymied with, their best players being hurt this year, and that's one of the biggest problems they've had. But, I feel bad for Fleury also. I mean, he played a very tough role here tonight, coming in and playing against the Stanley Cup champions. But he's a trooper, and he didn't get a lot of support there as well. So we'll see what happens, and a couple of days off, sometimes day off will help a little bit, I think, to relax things a little bit more so. But hopefully that Brock is going to be okay, and we'll get a report on him, I'm sure, later on. It may not be tonight, but certainly for tomorrow.
Before we preview the end of the homestand, give me Tom Reid's catalyst of the game from this one.
Well, I'm going to go with Eklund from the fact that he was so good with his hockey club tonight. He picked up Ekblad, I should say. He picked up the first goal in that first period. He had a couple of assists in this game. He's a big body out there. He did what he had to do and really got his team in a roll.
All right, Tom. As mentioned, this homestand has been a tough one, and it's been filled with pretty darn good teams. I know the Arizona Coyotes, now the Utah Hockey Club, are a rebuilding franchise in more ways than just one. But we saw how tough they can play just a handful of days ago when the Wild made their first trip to Salt Lake.
That's a good young hockey club. I'm telling you, I've watched some of those kids at the last game there, and they fly. There's no question about it. So they are a team certainly on the rise, and hopefully Minnesota will be able to counter that attack.
All right, Tom, thank you. We will talk to you on Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Tom Reid from the Al Shaver press box following a 6-1 loss to the Florida Panthers. He gives the Tom Reid's catalyst of the game to the Panthers, Aaron Ekblad. Tom Reid's catalyst of the game is presented by Catalyst Supply Co. Building materials and install support. Boost your build. Tonight the Wild lose 6-1 to the Panthers. The postgame show continues next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.